Welcome to the Dead Boy Lounge with your hosts, Paul Ford and Tim Smith.
Okay, cool. Here we go. Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Dead Boy Lounge Horror News and Culture Podcast. Fantastic to be back with you guys. And how are you, man? It's been a minute.
I'm good. I'm wonderful. How are you, my dude?
I'm doing okay. You know, I've settled into the new job. I'm not quite feeling as like worn down and shit. The heat is just, it's taking some getting used to again, but I'm getting there, man. It's been cool. It's been an experience, but
Right.
Oh my God, Trick, you are loud. Yeah, I think I fixed that.
Oh, I think I was louder than when I did my mic checks. My bad.
No, it's no sweat. I can tune it down from here unless you want to adjust yourself.
No.
However you want to do that, man. That's up to you. You do you, big dog.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hey, let's go ahead and do some news, shall we? Third, would you care to take us into our first story for tonight, please?
Yeah, since I've never talked about this before, absolutely. 10 vintage horror anthologies you can watch online. HorrorNews.net has compiled a very thorough list of some classic vintage horror anthology shows you can watch for free online. While most of the fans of the obscure and lesser-known entities within the genre might be familiar with some of these titles, if you find yourself curious, check out these titles that are featured in the full article. Journey to the Unknown, The Evil Touch, West Country Tales, She-Wolf of London, Night Visions, and R.L. Stein's The Nightmare Room. And more. See the whole list and full article at horrornews.net, which will be linked in the chat in just a second.
Yep, as we speak.
Noise.
Boom! There is the full story. Okay, cool.
Did you know that Halloween was supposed to be an anthology series?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that makes sense. I can see that.
Since they made 3
Right.
Season of the Witch, and it didn't have Michael Myers at all. Spoilers, I guess. Yeah. It was supposed to be an anthology, but people hated it so much. They were like, no, bring Michael Myers back. Oh my God.
We don't like change.
And then we had to wait 6 years.
Oh, geez. That's hilarious. Okay, moving into our second story for the evening. Author Teases, Birdbox 2 in development at Netflix. John Mallerman's Birdbox sequel novel Mallory hit shelves this month, and according to Dread Central, today he has teased, Netflix is developing a sequel to the film. He tells Inverse, I can't say much, but I can say it is in development. Sometimes it's weird, all this secrecy, but I'm game. Mallory opens up at the School for the Blind, which is where the movie ends. Then it jumps a few years later, and it really takes off 10 years after that. So he's just like jumping all over the place. Check out the full story with a link to Mallerman's interview from Inverse from our friends at dreadcentral.com. And my mouse hates me. It won't let me copy. Why is this happening to me?
I gotcha.
Why is this happening to me? Thank you.
Why? How could this happen to me?
Nice.
So, have you seen Bird Box?
No, I can't bring myself to want to see it.
Do you want to know, like, because I just know so fucking much about horror, I guess.
I guess so.
You want an anecdote for Bird Box?
Sure. Give me a quick, give me the cliff notes.
There's a deleted scene. And the reason it's deleted is because people hate it. There's a deleted scene where you see the monsters,
Oh, really?
and I guess they look like giant babies.
What?
Yeah. I don't know if I can find it. One second.
I
That's amazing though. Like, I wish I could have seen that.
I suddenly have a vision from the Invader Zim episode with the little baby aliens.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? And they form the Giganto baby. Giganto baby immediately pops into my head. I need to see
Oh
this.
my
I kind of
God.
want to see this too now. Like, I don't even want to see the movie. I just want to see this deleted scene.
They don't look good. Let me
That's
see if I can just find an image. I found a video with it.
drop a link into the Discordio, and I'll put it on the screen share since we have that working again.
Okay, here's a Google search with it.
No.
It looks so bad, dude. There, that's a sketchy link.
Oh, jeez. We're just gonna copy and paste
Some
that.
on. Go put some on and bring it back down.
And really?
What?
That's it?
Oh, you saw it? So bad, dude.
What is this?
It looks like that giant baby mask.
What
that
is
I wrote
this?
the
Look at
flyer
this.
for years back. So bad. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Oh. I have no words. I have no words. That's something.
Imagine Sandra Bullock is just running through a forest like, oh, I want to see that. I'm America's sweetheart.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, that's hysterical. I'm so glad you showed me this.
It's amazing.
It's really amazing. Oh man. I'll never unsee that, but I'm not really disappointed by that either.
Now you should watch the movie and just know that that's what they're running from.
I like the entire experience will just be much more it'll be much more jovial after seeing that image.
Right.
That's for sure.
It's basically a comedy after that.
After that, yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, let's talk about something that was actually kind of scary. Right? So, for this episode, we decided to go into the Shudder catalog. If you're not familiar, Shudder is AMC's own horror streaming service. So just basically think Netflix for horror movies. And they have a wealth of a collection of just flat out scary shit, jump scare stuff, gory stuff, like original series and movies. They have some obscure ass shit, stuff that's been dug out from like the vault of like occult movies and just some really cool classic. And I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on.
They really do have like a great classic list too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they I mean, dude, they spared no expense in curating some pretty stellar titles. And for this was one that actually my wife had told me about. Like, she really wanted to see this movie. And after reading up on it and stuff, I was like, hey, okay, yeah, we actually should absolutely do an episode on this.
Yeah.
I was genuinely afraid at some parts of this film. I am not going to lie to you.
I don't like get scared at movies too often.
Right.
Like, it takes a lot.
Yeah.
But like I mean, I told you. There's a part in this movie where I stood up and I was like, what the
I think we both had the same reaction to that moment, if I remember correctly. So a quick synopsis, the movie that we watched is called Z, literally just the letter Z. When 8-year-old Josh starts palling around with a new imaginary friend, things quickly turn dire for the parents, Beth and Kevin, when Z starts making Josh commit a series of heinous and sometimes violent acts. But it's not Josh that Z is after, and he won't stop until his needs are met.
It makes him sound like a jealous ex-boyfriend.
Well, I mean, there's parts of the movie where he kind of acts like one.
Yeah.
But that's much later on into the film. One of the first things that I did notice, like as the opening of the movie starts moving on, is that mom and dad are doing quite well for themselves. That house is fucking amazing.
Dad's like an architect.
Right, yeah, like we see a few snippets of him like doing like measured drafting essentially, like by hand. And yeah, he's obviously a smart dude. But the neighborhood that they're in, the house that they're in, like it's a really nice house. Yeah, like I'm sitting here
They're
going,
upper class for sure.
oh, 100%. Yeah, they're not struggling very, very often.
To put it into perspective, the dad in this movie is about 6 years away from jingling change in his fucking pocket all day. Does that make sense? Like,
not really.
you know, like that guy who wears what are those fucking like boating shorts, and they're not moccasins, but like boating shoes, and like with no socks. And like a very nice polo. Yeah, Sperry's.
Yeah.
And like a brand name polo. And like he just, when he's standing still waiting for something, like he jingles change in his pocket.
I've never heard someone describe that way before, but it makes sense. I get it. I absolutely get it.
I'm painting a picture here.
A very good one. By the way, yeah, that's definitely his image. Yeah. Right away, I kind of start noticing though that Josh, the kid that's really kind of, well, in like the first half or like the first third of the movie, he is the main focus, or like kind of the main character, so to speak. In that, you know, that's the one that the film is basically following around, and like a lot of the events early on in the movie are surrounding Josh and like what Josh essentially does, and
kind of comes off as Josh.
Yeah, very much. Kind of comes off as like the weird daydreamer kid, so you already kind of have an idea that maybe he's like outcasted a little bit in like school amongst certain kids, like because in the opening of the film, he's getting into, I guess, what you could call like a carpool with another kid and his mom or whatever, and
yeah.
Right away, that interaction between the two kids just feels very off. Like they're not as close as maybe like we would like to think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he gets in the car and the kid's playing like a game on a tablet.
Right.
I don't want to fucking go off on a tangent, but I hate when people give their kids like a tablet in the car so they'll shut up.
Oh, yeah.
Which, if you do that, wow, I'm just alienating people. Whatever. I taught my son to just enjoy the ride, listen to music.
Right. Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, during the move, he definitely had one. I mean, he was much younger, so it was just like, you know, watching Nick Jr. shows and shit like that, but when we moved from Houston out here to Florida, yeah, it definitely helps on like the egregiously long road trips. There's like days on the road.
Like what, 20 hours, like 20, 30 hours of just driving?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there's time, like, as with anything, I suppose, there's a time and place for it. But
it's understandable. But going to school,
yeah,
fuck you.
I get where you're coming from for sure. There's it's a little kind of a lackadaisical approach to the situation, I suppose.
Yeah. I'm just bitchy.
It's okay. It's what makes you you.
Oh, so should we set the stage like about the characters? Like we've already described who the dad is.
Right.
We just described uh
Josh.
Josh, or the 7-year-olds that get left in the mall with cell phones. Oh my god.
Oh, what? I haven't seen
I've
the mall.
never seen that.
I don't go into many malls anymore. So.
Oh, neither.
That sounds egregious. Yeah, for sure.
I would kick a parent if they just left their kid in the mall.
I would love to see you do that.
Kick you right in the fucking chest if you left your kid in the mall. Like, you piece of shit.
God damn it. That's hilarious.
So the only character we haven't mentioned is, we haven't gotten a description of, is Beth.
Right. Josh's mom.
Yeah. And I'm going to be real with you. In the beginning, super didn't like her.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah. She was boring.
Do you
But
think
I
maybe
feel
that
like
was...
they laid a lot of...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I feel like they laid down like a lot of information that you would need later for her. So like, I understand. I'm not mad about it.
Right. And I kind of feel like there was an underlying reason for it too, and that like she's supposed to come off as this typical like white suburban mom. And if we're being completely honest, a lot of just typical white suburban moms are kind of boring. And that's just, not an insult. It's just more of an observation. As life's path takes you down certain directions, sometimes life just doesn't really get all that exciting. And I think that's what they're trying to lay a baseline for, is like this seemingly unexcited family that doesn't really have a very outlandish type of lifestyle. All of a sudden starts just getting fucked up. Yeah.
She thought they had the perfect life.
Yeah, exactly.
Our life is so good together.
All that
But
was missing
things
was
were
the light.
about to get worse. Everything's getting so bad. Sorry.
Sounds like a Pablo Francisco bit. Yeah. Okay. Oh, dude. So yeah, mom, stay-at-home mom. I'm assuming they didn't really say like if she had a career or anything like that, and don't really remember any scenes where she's going to a job or anything like that. So yeah, I'm assuming she's a stay-at-home mom.
They show the scene where she's like cleaning up the house.
Right. Okay.
And stuff like that. So she's definitely a stay-at-home mom. She's also, I don't know if she's taking care of her mom.
They're definitely visiting. I think her mom rather, is kind of past the point of care. At least that's the way that they're trying to portray her condition.
Yeah, she looks like she's in hospice.
Right.
That's for sure.
Yeah, she was in like final stages of, I'm assuming, cancer, because she had that head dressing, and she's just completely lethargic. She can't move. She's bedridden. Jenna sucks, by the way.
Yeah.
Jenna is Beth's sister, and yeah, their mom is like days away from death, from some kind of disease. I'm assuming cancer. They definitely set the stage for cancer. So yeah, that's what I'm going with. But it's like one of the I think it's like the last visit that they really have with her, and Jenna is a no-show. Like there's a quick text to Beth like sorry, can't make it. And yeah, mom is visibly upset that her other daughter is refusing to show up. And I mean, I get it. Like I sort of get it, in like not wanting to see a loved one in that state, or especially if it's a parent. I don't think I could imagine myself in a scenario where my mom was in that kind of condition. But at the same time, it's like, dude, it's your mom. Like, she's not going to be here long. Like, is that really the last memory you want to have of, right? So, yeah, like, I get it, but at the same time, get over it. Because you don't have long. Anyway.
So I've worked hospice care.
Oh, have you?
And yeah,
Oh,
I've
shit.
seen it. Dude, like, people regret not seeing their loved ones before they pass.
Oh, dude, I can't imagine.
It was actually kind of cool to like see that. Like, I've never seen it portrayed in a movie.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that. Ugh. Still, that just feels... I don't know.
It's big yikes.
Yeah, man. It's gotta be. Like, oh, that kind of regret. That kind of regret, that never leaves you, I would imagine. That never goes away.
I'm reading your notes. Jenna
She
sucks.
sucks, but I kind of get it. Yeah. So, anyway, that's our first introduction into Jenna. Like, that's our first impression of this character, is shying away from essentially saying goodbye to their mother. Because it's not shortly after that we see. Well, we'll get more into that as we move along. But yeah, it's essentially their last visit.
Mm-hmm.
So, hedgehogs are an interesting choice of pet. That's another thing you don't see a lot in movies or ever.
This would have been that kid who had a Nintendo and a Sega.
Right. Solid hedgehog joke. Hey.
Well, like everyone else, I had a Nintendo.
See, I had the Sega.
What?
Yeah, that's what. Well, I mean, come on. We didn't really get the choices back then. It was like,
yeah,
you know, you hoped for the best that Christmas.
When mom says we have Nintendo at home.
And it's like,
Not the same.
It's a freaking Atari. But yeah, hedgehog, interesting pet. And randomly, just out of nowhere, mom comes down and the hedgehog is like dead.
I think he killed it.
I'm pretty sure he killed it. They're vague enough, though, that it does leave like a giant question mark on that particular scenario. But it was interesting how we go immediately from dead hedgehog to we must order pizza.
That's what you do when your animal dies. Yeah. Like, you remember being like a little kid and like you come home and like everything's awesome. And you're like, oh man, pizza and I got a video game. Oh shit, someone died.
I didn't think of it that way.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
You don't figure that out until someone tells you, but then like looking back on it, you're like, you know, every time I got pizza and a video game, someone died.
I totally didn't process it that way, but you're absolutely right. That makes total sense. That's like, it reminds me of a scene from The Simpsons where they're like, yeah, we're going to Disneyland. And they pull up to the dentist. It's like that.
Hey, what do you name his hedgehog? Maki?
No, I think that was the name of the stuffed animal he had. Damn it, I wish I would have written this down. It was actually like kind of a bland name. It was like Charlie or something like that.
Oh. Okay. So set the scene farther. Mom gets a call from the school. Like, we have a couple shots where we see Josh at school and he's very much like away from all the other kids. The teacher is she walks by him a couple times and she just looks shook.
She gives him a look.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
You know,
things that make you go, buh.
yeah. And then we suddenly get to mom going through or doing chores, household stuff, and we find out that his pet hedgehog has died. The next day he goes to school, he gets suspended indefinitely, which is expelled.
Yeah,
That's
choice
what
of
that
words
means.
were weird. The choice of words were really strange there, for sure.
I mean, like, are they Canadian? Is that what they say in Canada?
Well, they definitely were in Texas.
Yeah, they would have just executed the kid.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh man, we're getting political.
Gallows humor. Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, so I'm so glad you're here to actually set up the scenes that I just randomly jump into. Jesus.
All good, man. All good.
So yeah, it does, and like going from that moment with the teacher and like the visible being visibly upset by whatever it is that he's drawing or writing or whatever, and then going to dead pet, it definitely spells foul play. Like the kid had a hand in it to some degree. We never find out what. We never really even find out officially if the kid was responsible, but I mean, it's it's safe to assume that that's what took place.
I'm gonna say something though, and it's gonna fuck you up.
Okay.
So do you remember? Obviously, you remember the thud scene.
The thuds. Oh.
Yeah, where she's talking to the other mom. That'll make sense in a minute. So she actually mentions like a lot of the behaviors that Josh is having okay. So Beth goes to a friend's house, and that's the mom who's been taking the kids to school.
Yeah, the carpool mom.
Yeah, carpool mom, and that's how we will refer to her. So carpool mom is like letting Beth know, like, look, my kid came home crying. He's uncomfortable around Josh. Literally says he told my son he's thinking about hurting small animals.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Very good point. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, and then thud. Oh my gosh. Okay. Should we go ahead and explain what thud means?
Yeah, we can get in. So, okay.
We're already setting up the scene here.
That,
yeah, go ahead.
We're starting to find out that Josh is like a bad kid. Like he's one of those kids who's got to like go to another school.
Yeah,
and like maybe spend some time away from the people.
Jesus. Before you continue though, they actually remember they had a parent-teacher conference.
Yeah.
That went into a little bit more detail of what Josh has been, well, not so much detail, but there's like descriptions of like the language is unacceptable, and like now he's even moved into like hitting other kids, like he's becoming physically violent now. He's becoming an impossible to handle kid within a classroom setting. So already we're starting to get a bigger idea of Josh's behavior.
Yeah. So they've set the scene to let us know that Josh has behavioral issues. He's verbally and physically aggressive, and he's making his peers uncomfortable. And carpool mom says, like she apologizes. She doesn't pick Josh up from school one day,
just randomly.
And yeah, no notice. So carpool mom tells Beth, "Look, I'm sorry. He's making my kid uncomfortable, and I have to protect my child." And then, thud. Listen, I'm telling you right now, I don't get super excitable during movies. I used to all the time, but I was watching this movie in my off time at work. And at the counter with customers in the store, you see carpool mom's kid fly
plummet
from the stairs, hit the banister, fly down the next flight of stairs into what I assume is their like basement, and like you just hear two thuds.
Coming home crying, and I need to protect my son. Daniel! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! What?
And it's like I jumped up, I was like, what the fuck?
Which
I was shook.
Is the correct response for that scene, by the way, because I shared that sentiment, and like my kid was sleeping on the other side of the house, and I am almost positive had the door even been open, I would have woke him up. Like I was yeah, it was extreme, just yeah, what the fuck. And I You just hear like this blood curdling scream come from like the lower level of the house.
Yeah.
And then there's that obvious coming moment where mom looks up and there's Josh just kind of staring down, like looking at his handiwork.
All fucking Damien from The Omen's like
right, yes. Oh, that's a perfect descriptor. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Yes. It was totally a Damien. Totally a Damien moment.
so good.
Oh, bro. Like I still like I play that scene in my head and I'm still disturbed by it.
I feel like I'm slowly becoming desensitized to children being hurt in horror. And I'm concerned. I'm slightly concerned. I'm gonna talk to somebody. I'm gonna call a number. What's that thing that Philip DeFranco used to advertise that was bullshit? I'm gonna call that place.
Whoa. Goddamn.
BetterHelp or whatever.
Was it the over the phone? Anyway? Yeah. Well, we're not gonna get roped into this conversation.
Fuck, tangent.
Jesus Christ. We just we kind of glanced over some shit, but like we're already so deep into the oh shit side of this movie that let's just kind of keep going with that.
Just small note, throughout everything we've been describing, there's been like small scenes where Josh has developed an imaginary friend, and at dinner they ask, what's his name? And maybe Josh hasn't asked his name because he acts like he doesn't know. And then he walks over to where the imaginary friend is sitting and whispers, they want to know your name. What should I tell them? And he goes back to his seat, and there's like this big transition to a piece of paper, and a black mark goes across, and then across, and then... and then he turns the paper, and then it just transitions to Josh's, and it's a Z. It's very dramatic.
Yeah,
very dramatic.
it was set up as like a very epic scene, and the rapid scratches with the black crayon and just drawing the letter Z.
So glad you say crayon.
Semantics.
Yeah.
They do the film does a very good effort at trying to make the interaction between Josh and this new imaginary friend seem just like very innocent. You know, it's like every kid has an imaginary friend at some point in their life, or most kids have imaginary friends. This is perfectly normal. Mom and dad are just kind of like giggling it off and like not taking it seriously in any way, shape, or form. They are not bothered by this one single bit yet. Like I said, it just seems very innocent and childlike at first and whatnot. Then we start to spill over into some of the more finer details of Josh and his behavior towards the other kids. And like the clues are there all throughout like the first, I don't know, the half hour of the film. And then we start getting into the parent teacher conference, has a little more detail, getting into the thud, and then other events that start to transpire after that. It's it doesn't look good for Josh.
And then what do they do after he throws his friend off the banister? Let's go to Chuck E. Cheese. Well, actually, they take him to a therapist, and the therapist
looks like
is
he's
like,
going to die in like 30 seconds.
He's very classic therapist. He's, but sometimes the imaginary friends. Okay, Freud, let's go.
Yeah, nice.
He describes imaginary friends as like sometimes being a necessity, and recommends that they play with him more.
Right. Insinuating that mom and dad might be on the borderline of being neglectful. that, you know,
Yeah.
need to spend more one-on-one time with this kid. That's why he's created an imaginary friend. That's why he's going off on these like weird spells of like violence and like yada yada yada. And it's a good starting point, but I think at that point mom and dad were just more or less trying to find a more concrete, like they definitely weren't ready for that. Like I don't think dad, especially, like you can kind of see on his face like, oh, like I didn't really take into consideration my lack of one-on-one time with my son, or, you know, hadn't really taken into consideration his role to play in this situation, which up to this point, it didn't really feel like they necessarily had anything in that regards to worry about, I guess, if that makes sense. So suddenly it's thrown in their face, and dad, yeah, they go through with it, like they're willing to try anything at that point, and then that's when things really start to get weird.
Dad continues to not.
Well, that's true. Great, thank you for correcting me. Yes, you're right.
Fucked up. The dad is just like, look, somebody's got to pay the mortgage on this fucking 4-story house we're living in. These Nissan Sentras are not going to pay for them. Whatever the fuck they drive.
Whatever the fuck they
Maybe
drive,
it's like
right?
an Altima. I don't know. These cars aren't going to lease themselves.
Oh, Jesus, right? Yeah.
So dad just is still working 1,000 hours a week.
Ugh.
But mom's playing with him.
Yeah, mom takes him to, well, like the play zone, or it was just like some generic, you know, named whatever, but it's like one of those giant jungle gym things that you see in like, remember Discovery Zone as a kid? It was like Discovery Zone. Exactly like that. And
it's like Chuck E. Cheese and Dave and Buster's and Discovery Zone all in one.
Yeah.
Super cool. I would want to play there.
It looked fun for a little while. And then Beth really puts in a solid effort. She gets a little exhausted. And then watching Josh crawl through this plastic tube, and as he crawls away, on his heels, we see this grayed out, scraggly, demonic looking figure go chasing after him. And understandably so, mom freaks the fuck out. Has like an almost instantaneous panic attack and starts scrambling up to the jungle gyms to get up there. She hears him screaming, help me, help me. Like something has obviously suddenly happened to this kid. And she looks over and his body is laying on the bottom of this jungle gym area. He's not moving. I kind of questioned it at first because I'm like, that's a padded landing area. Like, what is he doing? So mom's beside herself already. She's freaking out. She gets down there. And then all of a sudden the little fuckwad is like, ha ha ha, I got you. I got you, mom. Big joke. And like my first thought was like, fuck you, kid. That was not cool.
Did you say, you little shit?
Yeah. I thought you were dead. Yeah. I can imagine if I ever did something like that to my parents, I would have been dealt with for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Dude, there's I don't want to say it, but parents now are so different from parents when we were kids.
Well, yeah. Yeah, for sure. There are some huge differences that we could go to, but yeah, we're probably not going to.
Okay, so look, 25 years ago, McDonald's introduced the Play Place in my town. And
A little bit.
Beth's doing better. But we kind of find out why Beth's doing better. I don't want to go into spoilers.
Sure.
And yeah, so there's like a lot of reference to like people not taking like PTSD serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kevin for sure, just like whatever, grow up, get over it. Like it's super fucked up. I was thinking about that a lot when I was watching the movie. I was like, Kevin does not take mental health seriously.
Yeah, that's a good point. He does seem to kind of like brush all of it off, and
yeah,
I can't really recall a moment where he seems affected by anything she's been telling him about any of the events going on. Like, I think the most upset I saw him was when he was talking to the other parents about the thud incident.
Yeah,
that was about it.
But I think that was him like empathizing as a parent,
right?
Like putting himself in their place, like understanding how upset they are.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have fucking answered the phone for him, honestly. Like, hey, the parent of that fucking kid who almost killed our kid is calling. What do we do? Send it to voicemail.
Fuck that guy. Yeah.
We'll send him a medical bill.
The neighborhood has written him off completely at that point.
Yeah. Wow, that's true. When she's Beth tries to get him set up with a play date.
Mm-hmm.
So Beth is trying to get Josh acclimated to going back into playing with other people.
Right.
There's like signs that he's doing better, kind of. Through therapy.
Mom's kind of helping.
Stuff like that. She's trying to set up like play dates for him while she's dealing with the death of her mother. And she's very unsuccessful. Very unsuccessful. There's a montage of her calling all the parents on the school call tree, trying to see like if they'll watch him for a little bit or if their kids can play together. And it literally ends with someone hearing her name and then hanging up.
Yeah.
Like they're done for.
They are ostracized. But yeah, all of that was preceding the thud incident, but it was a great visual representation of just how bad this kid has really started to fuck up, and like the effects of these events and his actions, what they're starting to have on his parents, their mental state, their status within their little community. I mean, they're being completely blacklisted from everybody. No one wants to be around these people. And what's amazing to me is that no one has suggested that something is going on with this kid on like a psychological level. Like mom and dad are, but the parents have been so upset and freaked out by everything that's happened. Like they're done. They're washing their hands of the entire situation and just like want nothing else to do with this family. It's fucking crazy.
Well, we clearly don't have the details of the fucking court case they'll be facing once, you know, the carpool mom sues fucking Josh and his family. Oh my god.
Right? And how those events hadn't, well, I mean, I'm sure had it been in the timeline, like we would have seen some serious, like again, if it was Texas, Josh would have been done. But yeah, there were some heavy consequences coming their way for sure. And fuck, man, I mean, dude, he like ricochets off that guy. I can still hear it in my fucking
you keep
head.
Going back to it.
Oh man, it affected me. Like
it's like when you watch Mankind jump off of the Hell in the Cell.
Right. Yeah. Or the first time you watched a Faces of Death video.
Oh God.
It sticks.
Oh God.
It sticks with
yeah.
me. It stays with you for a bit. Oh man. Where are we here? So yeah, dad's an asshole, mocking mom. Grow up. And then we later find out that Beth's mom has passed from her illness, which the start of that scene is basically just a close-up on the mom's face, which has been frozen from, I can only imagine, like rigor mortis or something like that. And this, like, it's a pretty disturbing image in of itself. Like, that one sticks with you too. Not jump scary, which there's a lot of jump scares in this movie, by the way. Like, probably more so than some of the other movies we've covered on this show so far.
Mm-hmm.
Like the pain, or no, that's jumping ahead. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so trying to think of where we are in the movie, because like we've kind of been skipping around.
Right. No, we are at where they basically come over to say goodbye to mom. Mom has died. Beth's mom.
Yeah. So they're dealing with that, and you see Josh is sitting in like this. Is it like a family? There's a TV in a room. I don't fucking know.
It's like a
They all have gigantic houses. Jesus Christ. every fucking body in this whole world has hit the lottery 6 times, and they've all got 4-story houses.
Yeah.
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
her mom's is visibly the older house of the homes that we see in this movie, but still just as gigantic.
It's fucking huge.
Yeah.
What do they do? It's yeah. Oh my god.
That's too many levels in a house. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. I'm just so fucking pissed about everyone's house. My house is a piece of shit. And anyway.
Jesus.
They start looking through mom's stuff. That becomes like a lot of the scenes where when Beth's not dealing with like Josh and Kevin, Beth's at mom's house, sometimes with Jenna, and then sometimes with Jenna, but she doesn't know. Going through stuff. You find out in one of these scenes that Jenna has a drinking problem.
Mm-hmm.
Literally found on the bed with mostly drank Fifth and McCormick. Like, wow, Jenna has a drinking problem. And she likes cheap vodka. Bitch. I'm worried about the wrong details.
It's fine.
They find this toy. They find it's like a speak and spell.
Mm-hmm.
And it just keeps saying Z.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yeah. It's Z, and then it plays like this little piano line. Like, it's kind of, it's slightly creepy. And she goes to the basement, she finds it, and then she goes back up to find Josh, and Josh is no longer in the TV room. Josh is upstairs in some room we don't know anything about. Zed? Zoltan! I'm sorry, that's a reference I love.
Oh, Jesus.
Josh is in a room and he's looking at a ceiling fan, and the ceiling fan is turning. Not like it's on, but just like it was touched. Like if you've ever reached up and like just spun the blades on a ceiling fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. And mom is visibly shaking, trying to get him out. She literally has to, it's like he's in the room, but he can't hear her.
Right.
Like she's next to him saying, Josh, Josh, Josh. And then she walks up, grabs him, turns him, and walks him out of the room and says, don't come in this room again. So now we know that's an important room. He has AirPods in, exactly.
Nice.
There's just so much setup in this movie.
Yeah, because there's obviously something has either transpired in this room, or it holds some significance in some way. Which
you find out later why.
Oh yeah, we do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's fucked up. And that's part of the reason I think a lot of this has to do with like the metaphor of post-traumatic stress disorder and like not dealing with mental health.
Right. Yeah, well, this is skipping ahead a little bit, but we can pull it back pretty easy. We start to find out that there's a lot of repressed memories in this movie. A lot.
Yeah. Beth starts going through stuff in the basement. She finds a blank videotape.
Never a good sign.
No, don't. If you're ever in a horror movie, don't grab a blank horror tape. Don't grab a blank movie tape. Don't do it. Throw it away.
Just throw it,
Leave
melt
it. Don't touch
burn it, cast it away,
burn the house down. Fucking walk away.
and never think about it again.
Nothing good's gonna happen. Also, don't read anyone's diary.
Yeah.
What I now just thought of like a good subject for a podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Okay.
Yeah. So, she goes up, talks to Jenna for a minute, and then they leave, and it cuts to Beth at home. She just has a VCR.
For no reason.
No one owns a VCR anymore, bro. Fucking nobody. I'm being nitpicky, and this isn't the hill I want to die on, but like, where'd you get the VCR? Did you go to the fucking library? Do you have a library card too? Fuck. I have a library card, so it's likely.
Oh, something we had glanced over early on. When they first take Josh into therapy, we see a visible reaction from the therapist when he says the name Z. Like he's actually heard it before, and then turns out he's also Beth's therapist from when she was a kid.
So he's clearly like 108,000 years old. He's the oldest fucking therapist in the.
He looks like Vincent Price from Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, but like currently, like what Vincent Price would look like right now. He's old.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Like his next breath could easily be his last.
Every time he exhales, dust comes out. Fucking rough. Beth does the dumb fucking move though. Burns the tape.
I said the same thing. I'm like, that shit could have actually been super useful.
Like, imagine she walks up to Kevin and she's like, "Fuck you, Kevin. Fuck you, Kevin. Come down here, watch this VHS tape." And then Kevin's like, "Where'd we get a VCR?" And then it's the whole thing. But no, she's just full dumb bitch energy and just burns the tape.
Yeah, I didn't agree with the burning of the tape either. I felt like there was a lot more useful information to get from it. Because again, we only see like 10 seconds of it when she first stumbles upon her saying the name Z. So it's just like, was that really all you needed? Like, no, there could have easily been some more crucial information that could have helped deal with this. And then, I mean, we kind of get some more information later on when she calls the therapist for herself after stumbling onto the tape and watching it, and then after precedingly burning it. And how repressed are these memories for her? Because like she's basically learning about this stuff brand new all over again.
PTSD, man.
Dude, right? Like you really nailed it with that for sure.
Yeah. Can I say that all the times we see Z, it's never the same.
Mm-mm.
Never.
No, I was thinking about that too, actually.
So, real quick, let me get my tinfoil hat.
Oh. Into the conspiracy corner.
Z isn't real.
Okay.
100% not real. 100% in her head. And probably in his head as well. So she obviously has like some mental health issues. And like a lot of like chemical imbalances and stuff, they are hereditary.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there's a history of mental health issues in your family, you should be aware of that, and you should, check yourself sometimes. Like evaluate your mental health and if you need to see someone. Dun, 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 dun. But clearly, Josh has never been evaluated before this moment. So I don't want to say that like she's like slipped into something and she like planted Z in Josh's head, but that's kind of what I'm thinking.
You think maybe like in
people,
a
disassociative state.
Right. Okay.
Like Z is probably a dissociated personality for Beth, and the two are interacting when she's like at her worst.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like that's kind of like that's what I'm feeling.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah, remove
Foil hat off. I'm gonna make one now just for this when we do that kind of
Please
stuff.
do it. Yes, we need that. That's the content we need. No, I think you're onto something, because his shape is fluid throughout the entire movie. Like there are no two instances where he looks the same. Like the first time we see him is in the tube, in the playground, following Josh.
He looks fucking gigantic.
And long, really lanky, like extended arms, extended legs, and the mid torso area is very frail looking, very thin. And then after her meeting with the therapist and learning all this additional information all over again, discovering her role to play in this, essentially, she comes home, from what I can assume, just trying to de-stress and alleviate some of the worry that is understandably coming with all of this shit going on. Tries to take a relaxing bath in the tub. Only well, no, before that, sorry, we keep getting
It doesn't matter. You can just go. You can just go. It's fine.
The toy makes a play back again in the Z and the tune, and then all of a sudden it starts phrasing, imagine Z, over and over and over again.
IMAGINEZIM. Yeah.
And if you
just keep saying that over and over.
If you have subtitles on, it actually spells out imagine Z and kind of gives that away a little bit.
Yeah, I was fucking pissed.
Like sometimes subtitles will absolutely spoil the movie like seconds before something's supposed to happen. It's really annoying. But so she's in the tub after imagining all that, and so she starts repeating the phrase, very reminiscent of like Candyman, Beetlejuice, where the phrase is repeated over and over again and then an event happens. And we see Z an additional time appear in the fucking bathtub. Like,
but he looks small.
Yeah, and did you notice he was
weak.
Fucking smiling?
Mm-hmm.
Like a very childlike grin creeps across his face, and like the eyes have gotten bigger. Well, I think it's like actually the first time we've seen his eyes, but they seem very wide, very excited. Like he's excited to see her again.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
but he just always looks different.
Yeah. Like the shape does not hold true as the movie progresses, and it's very interesting to see that. So I think you might be onto something with your theory there.
Things are like progressively getting worse with Josh, now with Beth. Now like Z is like affecting the both of them. And it's starting to affect Beth's relationship with Josh.
For sure.
And then obviously Beth's relationship with Kevin, who's being a total dick.
Yeah.
So I can't remember exactly what happens, but Kevin has his first interaction with Z.
Oh, yes. So I think at this point in the film, Beth Beth is not in the house for whatever reason. I can't recall what that reason is now. So anyway, Beth is out of the house. She may still be on her way. Yeah, she has just left her meeting with Dr. Seeger, the therapist. She is trying to call Kevin, but he then hears a noise coming from upstairs. He's actually downstairs in his office working. He hears a noise that pulls him away. So right away he misses Beth's call, not able to get a hold of him. He heads upstairs and doesn't hear the noise again, checks Josh's room, and he starts to hear that little speak and spell toy doing the same Z phrasing over and over again, and casts it aside, doesn't think anything of it. It's like, oh, it's a broken toy. The kid's asleep, everything's fine. Goes to turn and leaves the room, and then all of a sudden, all of the battery-powered toys in Josh's room go off, light up. There's like a fucking laser show in Josh's room all of a sudden, because all these little LED lights on all these toys start going off. And there's a giant painting, a charcoal painting of what Z is supposed to look like from Josh on his wall. And it's fucking ginormous. It's a huge painting. No way Josh painted it. Yeah. And Kevin starts like staring at it. It starts to take on this weird shape from the lights of like all the toys going off and everything. And then all of a sudden the eyes light up, and then Z materializes out of this painting again with a third shape. He actually has a mouth, visible razor sharp teeth, beady eyes, and his head seems a little more elongated in this scene, and just immediately goes for Kevin's face. Like Kevin's done. Bye-bye, Kevin.
Yeah. So Z now has all the power, and is now like he's been trying to separate Beth from Kevin and like Josh from like he's trying to separate them both from Kevin. Now I'm not a spookologist, but I don't think that's how it works. That's how it works. So Z succeeds. Kevin's gone. I mean, I don't think that's really a spoiler.
No.
Kevin sucks. Kevin was gonna die. Fuck you,
Yeah,
Kevin.
Kevin was not introduced as a character to be attached to.
Yeah. Kevin. Every scene where Kevin could have been cool, Kevin sucks.
Yeah. Agreed.
So Beth now has to just play the game with Z to figure out how to get rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
Literally sends Josh off to stay with Jenna, who still sucks, but is now
better.
starting to suck less.
Yeah.
She's doing better. She got a chip.
Oh.
Yeah. Apparently it took like a wadded up fistful of cash to clean her up.
Okay.
And then Beth has to go to her mom's house and just interact with Z until things get better. Until things get better. Or just till she dies.
Whichever comes first.
Like, yeah. It's like this is the part that like had me the most unnerved.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into like super spoiler stuff too, because like this is arguably the best part of the movie.
Yeah, this is where the climax definitely comes to a peak, and we start to see the resolution take shape. But just I'll touch on this: the sequence of events that takes place from the time that she returns to the house to stay with Z up until the events afterwards were super hard to watch.
If it kind of cements a lot of the PTSD stuff to me too.
For sure.
Because it deals with like a lot of like emotional regression and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I feel so much like this. It's more a metaphor for dealing with post-traumatic stress, for people not taking mental health serious. that kind of stuff.
I think you're onto something there. Yeah.
Dude, because she legit emotionally regresses to a child while dealing with Z.
She does for sure. I think he definitely had a hand to play in that as well. I think he definitely yeah, I'll actually go on a limb. I think he forced her into that role, and just after a while she just goes full on regression, and it's a very powerful moment out of that movie. And just to, you know, like you said, avoid any of these potential spoilers that may come from that, but it's another moment of that movie that will stick with you for a while after you watch it. Yeah, seeing her regression and the interactions between, because he obviously is the dominating figure in this relationship now, and is he controls her life at this point.
Fucking 2% milk, man.
Okay, so there was a scene a little further back when Josh was still with the family, and it was actually
Like when there was a family.
When there was a family, and pretending like he actually didn't just throw some kid off a balcony, and they're all sitting down to dinner as if, like, you know, it's just another normal day. How rich do you have to be able to have two different kinds of milk? Like, she comes in with a carton or with a half gallon. He's just like, oh, no, go grab the 2%, you know, next to the other collection of fucking milks that we have in the house. So it's just like, oh, wow, that's such a privileged moment in this movie.
We definitely know that we get it. You have money. They're the type of people to throw milk out the day before it expires.
Okay.
Not just make a big bowl of cereal.
Dad's putting almond milk in his coffee in the morning.
Dude, it's better.
Okay.
Milk makes my tum-tum hurt.
Yeah. Are you lactose
Yeah, 100%.
intolerant? Oh, yeah. Did I see you eating ice cream one day, like a few weeks back?
No.
Okay. Maybe it wasn't you. Okay. Because I got confused.
Don't get me wrong. I still eat ice cream and cheese.
Oh, Jesus.
I
Okay.
just suffer the consequences. It's just delicious.
I admire your spirit, sir.
Yeah.
Drive to succeed.
Yeah, I don't really feel like there's a ton of detail we can go into, like, without spoilers. The second half of this movie it's just miles better than the first half. I mean, don't get me wrong, the thud keeps you in the movie for sure, but the second half is so good. It's so
it's a
good.
lot more exciting for sure, and it ramps up and up and up and up as the movie continues up right up until the very end. And oh my God, the end.
Good.
Dude, I wish we could talk about it, but we can't.
I wish it would have ended differently.
Really?
Yeah. I wish we
kind
could
of see why.
Where we find out that it's really just Beth, like, having like just DID episodes.
Yeah.
And she's like, she actually killed Kevin. And, like, the cool thing is, like, the end is vague.
Right.
Like, there's a lot that you can interpret from the ending. We don't get anything conclusive.
Nothing concrete, really.
Maybe we do, but if you take, like, all the stuff that I said into consideration, I don't know.
I kind of anticipated a Fight Club style Jack and Tyler scenario for the ending. This is totally not what we got.
His name's not Jack.
It is in the book.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Bitch, yes, it is.
Bitch, no, it's not.
Yes, they refer to.
They're reading that magazine.
No, I
That
understand
magazine says I am Jax. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, and then they
His name's
refer to
not
him
Jack.
as Jack for like the rest of. Anyway, we're getting off tangent.
We're gonna talk about this after we rate this movie, but I'm telling you right now.
Okay. So yeah, in risk of going into like massive spoiler territory, we're going to bring the movie talk portion to a close there. If you're able to get into like a Shudder free, like a free trial, or if you just ended up absolutely loving it and you get a subscription, check out this movie. Definitely put it on the list and definitely check it out as soon as you possibly can.
I'm gonna put Shudder. I do all of my yearly subscriptions with tax money. I'm gonna put Shudder on my yearly subscription list.
Hell yeah, dude! I'm gonna do the same thing. That's a good idea.
So good.
It's so good.
Ooh, bitch.
And so much more to check out too. Like there's some really cool like sci-fi horror stuff I want to start dabbling into over there too.
This stream is brought to you by Shudder and Raid Shadow Legends.
Ew, no.
Gross.
I found that video you were talking about. I haven't watched it yet, but I found it. The How Not to Do Business, the Raid Shadow Legends episode.
Fact Fiends is so good. It's such a good channel. Oh my god.
Ooh,
I can talk
bitch.
About that.
All right, let's rate this shit.
So, yes, you first.
Okay, I will. I feel like I'm about to steal yours, but you told me to go first.
Yeah.
I give this a 5 out of 5. Falling children bouncing off of railings.
Yeah, that's the easy one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give that one to you. I enjoyed the movie, but I don't think it's perfect.
Okay. Respectable.
Just because there's some pacing issues at the beginning. Oh my god. I'm gonna give this 4 dead hedgehogs out of 5 in the cage.
That's a good one. Oh yeah. I like that. That's way better. I like that one.
Yeah, the thudding kid, that was too easy, man.
It was too easy. Yeah, excellent wordplay there, my friend. Love it. Ace performance.
Okay, look. His name's not Jack.
Okay, all right. Lay it on me.
His name's not Jack. So they find the pile of magazines, and in the magazines is a set of articles that say, I am Jack's
spleen. I am Jack's.
Like, describes his body parts and what they do. That's from the magazine's perspective, is just the character that magazine is describing for the anatomical properties. That character's name is Jack. His name's not Jack.
Okay.
It's never said what his name is.
Well, no, I understand that, but like as at least from what I remember reading, as the story progresses, he does start to refer to himself more as the Jack title.
So he starts like, I've read the book too. Because the movie's so fucking good.
Yeah.
He starts referring to himself as Jack's blah blah blah. I am Jack's lack of interest, blah 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 blah. That's just because it is something that it's referential in the story.
Okay.
There's something. Hold on.
Oh, here we go.
There's something that actually does talk about his name.
Is there?
Yeah.
Like I always thought they left that open to interpretation, like on purpose.
It's like a YouTube video. They're like, we've discovered the character's name.
Okay, it's one of those rabbit hole videos.
Dude, what the fuck? Okay. It's been recommended to me like 1,000 times. Cracked just did a video. We figured out the name of the Fight Club narrator.
Interesting.
And I feel like if they wouldn't just immediately strike us, we would watch it. I'll link the video, and I'll probably watch it later tonight.
Okay. Yeah, we'll We'll watch it ourselves first, and if we feel like including that in like a bonus clip or something,
Right.
or just one
Well,
of
there's
these
the
like
link.
bantering segments.
It's scary watching YouTube videos on Twitch now.
It can be, yeah, that's for sure. Risky doing those trailers earlier then.
Yeah, well, no, because I feel like Ubisoft wants that kind of like they want people to do reactions and
that's
stuff.
a gaming trailer, and it's a gaming streaming service.
Plus,
so
all that
makes
stuff
sense.
was streamed on Twitch, and anything that's officially streamed by Twitch or shared by Twitch is okay to view on Twitch.
I think Delta's excited.
Delta is a fan. Delta came to my channel because I was playing Far Cry 5.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I told you this already, but I have admittedly not played a Far Cry game yet.
You're fucking up.
Okay, thank you.
Dude, they're so good.
That trailer, like, granted it was all cinematics, but god damn it, that story sounds compelling as fuck.
Far Cry is a series of games that Ubisoft has always just done well.
Yeah. Are they chronological in any way? Or are they more...
They're all independent.
They're all independent? Okay.
Yeah.
The
You can jump
graphics
into
will
Far Cry
probably
5
be
and
closed to the cinematics. Oh, interesting. Okay.
because of God Race and stuff.
Yeah,
see
Ubisoft has
that.
always had like really great tech for making games.
Yeah, Far Cry is an anthology series.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get into it.
You really should. Far Cry 3 is arguably the best and has the best villain,
Okay.
but not because he's good at being a villain, just because he's an interesting character.
Okay.
I mean, I think Far Cry 4 has the best villain, like being a villain. Like he's the best bad guy because he's bad, but you kind of understand.
Like a kind of like Joker in certain areas. Like they make some really good points, but you're supposed to not like this character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. 4 and New Dawn are your favorites. Okay.
Far Cry has really good DLC.
Oh, okay.
Really good.
4 for story and the villain, New Dawn for gameplay. Oh, okay. Wow, that's very specific. I get
Far Cry
behind that.
5 has the best gameplay, and its DLCs obviously have really good gameplay as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'll pick up a Far Cry game one of these days.
You should.
think I
It's like
will.
$6 on G2A. Just throwing that out there.
That's where I got Fallout.
Yeah. I'll never buy a game outright if I don't have to.
If it's like first drop release, like Doom Eternal, I would have paid handsomely full price for that game had I not been gifted the key from a buddy. But like if it's like a game, if it's a game that I know for hands down, it's going to be like day one drop purchase for me, then yeah, I don't give a fuck. But if it's something going back, like I would love to have another copy of Fallout. Yeah, I'm gonna go deal hunting before I really settle. Dude, yeah. Actually, speaking of Dude, G2A is where I got my Doom 3 BFG edition. That came with the first 2 games as well.
Dude, I bought Doom 1 and 2, and then I bought Doom 3 BFG. I was like, fuck. It's just sus. You're sus.
And you activated the keys, so it's not like you can do a giveaway.
I don't mind it. I like Doom, so I like the idea that I literally have every Doom.
Yeah, same here. Same here, my dude.
Cool. Listen, next stream, next podcast, here's what we're doing. It's actually gonna take some time.
Okay.
You're probably gonna have to set aside like an evening.
Okay. What?
We're gonna write our own survival rules.
For horror movies?
Yes. How do you survive a horror movie? It's our
Oh,
declassified guide to surviving a horror movie.
dude, I love this idea.
Dude, I'm so fucking ready.
Hell yeah. Ooh, yeah, Victor Seal. I'm on board with this too. This is brand new news right now.
Yeah, it popped in my head when I said don't read a diary. And I was like, I could probably say like 16 more things off the top of my head not to do in a movie. You ever find yourself in a movie, don't do these things. Watch Mojo top 10 list.
No, I love this idea. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Culture.
Oh man. So much has happened to like slightly fuck us, and then like I don't know. I'm glad we took this short break.
Yeah, I feel a little re-energized after
Me too.
after taking a little sabbatical. Sabbatical. A horror movie where the main character calls out all of the tropes that the other characters are doing.
You're thinking of Cabin in the Woods.
Ah, good one.
Yeah. Where's the lie?
You know, I went back and listened to our episode with Moise and Loin where we did Candyman, and that ending segment where she talked about Cabin in the Woods. I was listening to her describe it, and I realized I have not given that movie a solid chance.
Really?
Yeah.
I love it. I love that movie.
I suddenly felt very a little bit of a like I'm missing out on something. So I'm gonna make it a point to watch that movie in like the next couple of days. I kind of feel like we should wrap it up.
We should. I want to put a caveat on the next episode.
Okay.
Just so we don't both. Well, I could write like 1,000 rules.
Wait.
Just so we don't. Leg or Cora, ban him. Just so we don't write like 1,000 rules.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep it to 10?
Yeah, we can put a limit on 10. Would you stop it? You're gonna step on something and it's not gonna be good.
Don't fucking pull an Alinity, bro. I don't have my shield up.
You gotta stop making Alinity jokes.
No, I don't.
I know. Yeah, we can totally keep it to 10, and that'll be great for time reasons on the show as well. So that'll keep us from going off on our trademark tangents.
I'm bad. I'm so bad.
It's fine.
And if you guys want to throw in like rules of your own, I'm super cool with that.
Do that shit.
If you want to write like 1 or 2 rules, I would love to see what you come up with.
I would be too. I'm very curious to see some creative muscles get flexed. So yeah, bring them on. Drop them in the Twitter. Drop them on Instagram. You can DM us, or if you want to throw it, tweet us out or some shit, whatever. Yeah. Wait, rules for what? Rules for surviving a horror film. So let's assume that you find yourself in a horror movie. Any horror movie. Doesn't matter what it is. What would your rules be for surviving to the very end?
Yeah, like what can you think of to help you survive whatever genre of horror movie you're in?
Don't be in a horror movie.
Don't be in a horror
cheating.
No, I'm going to turn it into a rom-com, bro. Everyone survives.
There's probably horror rom-coms out there. Shucks.
Yeah, Warm Bodies.
Ah, good point. Yeah, did not hate it.
I didn't either.
Yeah. Shucks. So yeah, that's the that's your homework assignment. Not really.
Oh, really?
But really.
It'll be one of those, like when we pop the next episode on YouTube, we'll have to say like, let us know what you think a good rule for a horror movie is in the comment section below. I'm already calling it out right now. Right? I'm going to fucking lead the episode with that.
Okay.
You're like, hey man, how are you? And I'm like, in the comments, like, tell me. Have a brain, don't split up. Doesn't work like that. We need specifics.
You gotta
Don't
you
be
gotta
vague.
pretend that there is a writer in charge of like everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm. You have no control. You just gotta like tell us what you do when you're put in those scenarios. Horror movie scenarios.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm looking forward to see what people come up with.
Matter of fact, let's be super specific. If you want to make your own rules, you're in a slasher movie.
Okay.
Classic slasher. Clasher.
I think that's nice. I think that will give like some more direct what I'm trying to say. It'll give more direction for how we write these out. So I like that. Yeah. I like that idea. Okay. We will see you guys next week. We're still shooting for weekly, right?
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Are we just going to stick with the rules, or do we want to try and do a movie for next week?
Let's just do the rules.
Okay. We'll stick with a culture episode for next week. And thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for participating here in the chat. You guys are absolutely legendary. Again, for future episodes, if you guys have any movie suggestions, topics like the one Third Trick came up with for next week with the horror films, don't be afraid to reach out to us. Tweet us out on Twitter. Shoot us a DM if you want, or interact with us in some way over on Instagram or here in the chat.
Double tap our pictures.
Or
Double tap our pictures on Instagram.
Double tap. Or join us here in the live chat and drop some suggestions here while we're doing each new episode. And yeah, lots of cool, fun stuff coming in the future. So we will see you guys next week for another brand new episode of the Dead Boy Lounge. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And as always, wash them hands.
Wash your fucking hands. Wear your mask. Wear your goddamn mask. Wear your mask.
See you guys next week.